Matt here with Comic Talk 616. We are here with the man, the myth, the legend, Jim Starlin. We're so excited to see you here. I think my first exposure that I didn't know about because I was reading comics in the library as a kid. So I think one of the biggest ones was Punisher POV from like 1991.
Right.
I believe.
There's an interesting story on that one.
Yeah. Oh,
That was originally going to be a Batman story.
Oh, was it?
Yes, we did the Batman over at DC, The Cult.
Okay.
And it was their best-selling book that year. So Bernie and I thought, sure, they'll want a sequel to that. So I came up with it.
That's awesome.
We took it over to them, and they said, no, we don't want that. We want Bernie to do Swamp Thing with Len Wein. Now, there was a thing with Bernie. If you worked with Bernie, you had to go over to his place once a week and say, these pages are great. Get him all fired up so he'd do more pages. Because left on his own, he couldn't generate his own enthusiasm. So fortunately, I only lived a couple miles away from him. So I got 4 good jobs out of him. Ron Mars, same story. But they said, we want Len Wein to do the Swamp Thing with him. Well, Bernie was back in New York, and Len Wein lived out here in California. They got 10 pages of Swamp Thing, and then Bernie quit the job.
Oh, no.
Yes. So somewhere there's 10 pages of Swamp Thing floating around and don't have any ending. So I took the plot over to Marvel, and Bernie and I said, we can change this over to a Punisher story, and that's what it was. The main villain in that one was the henchman of Deacon Blacks from The Cult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a little bit, but that's, oh God.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
fantastic.
remember it entirely myself.
Now, thinking back, like, oh, that makes sense. Of like, okay.
Now you're going to have to go back and drag those all out.
I'll have to go find it. I have it somewhere.
Add it to the list of backlogs that we need to reread.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to show you something because I think you might think it's a little interesting. So we used to get Loot Crate. And we got this like Infinity Gauntlet oven mitt thing.
Yes, one of the most disastrous licensing deals ever made.
Yeah, because it doesn't work.
Well, it catches on fire.
Yeah, it catches on fire, which kind of bad for an oven mitt.
I have one of those, but they're really rare because they all got recalled.
Yeah, no, I still have mine as well. We actually made a joke, and then the joke came to life. So we got Jerry DeCare. He was in town and. He was drawing, and I go, "Hey, can you draw Thanos as a chef?" And he goes, "Are you serious?" And I go, "I absolutely am."
He only gives food poisoning to half the people.
I know exactly. So we made it a costume just for fun. It's just literally just a chef coat and a hat and one of those rubber masks.
Yeah.
But we also made a guy, a Greek chef, very unhappy. Because
his name was Thanos.
Yeah. We made 2 of them.
Well, one of the things that inspired him was I used to go past a Greek restaurant called Thanos in New York.
Oh.
On my way over to Marvel.
I wonder if that's the same guy.
I think it is.
That actually might be.
Yeah, this is back in the 70s. He'd be an old guy at this
Well,
point.
It would be,
Yeah, he was Thanos restaurant, which always struck me as, well, you really want to go eat someplace that's definitely a synonym for death.
That's really
Yeah,
funny.
it's like eating those Japanese blowfish.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. So, you've done just an amazing amount of stuff. Like just prolific through Marvel, through DC, done Batman, Superman. Is there any book that you wish you would have been able to get on?
I was just talking about that. There was a Namer book that I wanted to do, a miniseries post 9/11 that just wasn't jingoistic enough for Marvel at the time, and so they sat on for a year and went with Namor in Love. You have to go look that one up.
I'll have to check that out as well.
Yeah, that was their decision that they decided to go with instead.
Okay, that totally makes sense. So let's see. What was your favorite character?
As a kid,
or just to write, basically.
Actually,
oh, Thanos.
Thanos.
Thanos is definitely
so
followed quickly
Thanos.
by Dreadstar.
Awesome.
As a kid, it was the Hulk.
That makes sense. Kids the Hulk, yeah. A lot of I love the Hulk.
Oh yeah,
too.
man, angry teenager. Of course, it's the Hulk. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we ask this question of everybody. So if you had to pick a burger restaurant for Thanos to go? That Thanos, what burger restaurant would Thanos consider his favorite? Like Five Guys, In-N-Out, Burger King, McDonald's. Probably not McDonald's. It's a weird. I know it's a weird question.
Yeah, he wouldn't eat at a fast food place. He's too high class.
He's too high class.
He'd order a burger from Four Seasons in New York or something like that. Yeah,
Four Seasons in New York. That's perfect.
yeah.
Awesome.
He's an elitist is actually what he is. Yeah.
That's cool. So, with
No common touch.
No common touch. Yeah, that makes sense.
Are there any current projects you're working on or future that you can talk about a little bit?
Just Red Star.
Just
I'm
Red
doing
Star?
Red Star graphic novels. Got 5 of them in the pipeline. Also got a thing coming out from Dark Horse called Outrage, which I'm not going to talk too much about right now because
Yeah,
Obvious reasons.
they want to make more of an announcement on it.
that sounds awesome.
But it's Rag Morales I'm working with on that. Rags Morales. And the artwork is just friggin' beautiful. I'm just blown away every page he sends in to me. Yeah. And he's going to town at it. Rags is slow, but he is good. Yeah.
So when you wrote for Thanos, did you ever write a little different for different books? Like, did the character seem a little different? Like in some it seemed more evil, and sometimes he was riding the Thanos copter.
Well, a lot of it, that wasn't me.
I know, I'm aware.
That was Larry Lieber.
I'm aware.
That's
I'm
the bane
just-
of my existence,
Oh.
that damn helicopter keeps showing up. It's going to be around long after everybody else has forgotten what Thanos is. The Thanos helicopter is really cool. I don't know what it means, but
No, I remember it was different. It just
But working differently on him, no, the story sort of always determined what he was going to say in that. I mean, it was more plot-driven than character-driven, but once I started working on it, he had his own head.
okay.
Warlock and him both had their own poetic sort of way of talking that I was trying to make different than the rest of the Marvel superheroes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that? Okay. Do you think that? So I'm sure you've watched the Marvel movies, and do you think that they used Thanos too early, or do you think there was about an appropriate time, in your opinion?
Well, they gave him a little cameo, and then they dragged it out for a number of years. No, too early? No, I think. I'm not sure what kind of barometer you'd use to think that was too early, because it was over years, and when they finally did it, it was one of the best-selling movies. I think the best-selling movie of all time.
Oh, yeah, it was.
So it would be hard for me to come up with a reason to criticism on not only the chronology, but what they were doing.
No, I was just.
Yeah. This is
I
the first time I ever heard
oh,
anything like that.
I heard about some people that are like, oh, it should have been more drawn out. Like Thanos should have been mentioned even further through more phases. But that's.
Well, I'm glad they did it at this time, because I was hoping that I'd see him die before I actually did.
That's fair. That totally makes sense. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us. We absolutely
We will
appreciate
end it
it.
on that dark note.
Oh yeah, we should. All right. Yeah. Bit of a dark note to end it on, but
for-
thanks so much for joining us for this interview. Thank you for agreeing to this, and thanks for coming down to Comic-Con. We're thrilled to see you down here.
Well, I'm 50 years of doing this sort of thing. I had nothing better to do.
Oh.
I was going to say thank you for your illustrious career.
Yeah.
You've done
Okay.
Awesome stuff.
All right. Well, thank
Okay,
you very
you
much.
take care then.
We appreciate it, man.
All right, bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.